What's up, guys? It's J-Buck back with Real Stories. Today I've got a hat on, I've got the buff on, it's a little chillier, but we're going to be talking about the frogs again. You know I love frogs. I love all sorts of frogs, big frogs, small frogs, white frogs, chartreuse frogs, black frogs. But specifically today, we're going to talk about smaller frogs in shallow cover under the wood from the bank. I know a lot of guys are fishing the big frogs, the big stuff, the extra heavies, the slop rods. That's where the frogs really shine. I think in the industry's mind, that's how they talk about them. And I don't think the smaller frog gets enough love. I know there's a ton of you bank fishing out there that love the frog like me. So I wanted to do this quick video on a couple frogs that won't break the bank that I think you guys are going to want to check out. So first up, I got to put these two together. This is the Booyah Pad Crasher. We got the standard face, and then we also got the mouth with the cup face. Specifically here is the aqua frog. This is probably our best producing Booyah frog of them all. You can see the chomp marks on this. Man, this thing, I think that this was, to be honest, probably one of the first frogs that I started throwing. Not this specific one, but Booyah. I just jumped into it. I really didn't know what I was wanting to get, and Booyah was accessible, so I took a look at it. So all I do with this, I don't even turn up the hooks. It's very soft. As you can see, if you need to get any of your frogs any softer, just throw them in a little bit into some boiling water real quick, soften right up, let it dry out, let it harden back up, and do it again until you get it to the desired squishiness. All I do is trim up the legs a little bit, and I'm good to go. So again, this is aqua frog. This is probably one of my top favorites to look at frogs. She's called Old Smoky. Smokes a ton, catches a ton, and bass love it. So throw this one as well. This is the traditional face. This one walks a little bit better over pads than this does, but this is obviously going to spit a little more water than this one. I really like throwing this into shallow lily pads, into the laydown trees, and it walks extremely well as well. Only $6.99, not going to break the bank, and they've got a ton of great colors. I'm going to link down below links to this bait and all the baits and all the gear straight to Tackle Warehouse, so you guys can check them out. I'll also include a couple of my favorite frogs, the colors, because why not get a jump on what you want to buy, because there's thousands of colors. How could you possibly know? But before we go any further, I'll just let you know, keep it simple. You got your darks, you got your whites, and you got your chartreuse. These frogs, I mean, this is a clear, this is kind of a unique frog, but it's got a lot of dark in it, so this presents very well in the water. But I mean, like I showed you, this is a white belly. It's got the blue, it's got the green, kind of mimics a bluegill, but it's got a white belly. Anyway, next up, we got the River to Sea Spit and Wall, the smaller one. I got a shout out to Tactical Bassin to get me on this frog. They actually recommend the big one. I have one of those, but I'm not gonna throw that big one under the trees when I'm only throwing 20 feet from the bank. It's, in my opinion, it's tough to get it out there. I'm not telling you that that's the right way. I'm not telling you to tell me that's the wrong way. It's just my experience, and I want to know what your guys' experience is. If you guys are getting them on an extra heavy action rod, tossing it 30 feet out under the trees where you don't want to get hung up, just let me know. I mean, more power to you. I'm just showing you what I've got in my experience, and I've been pretty successful. So Spit and Wah, the smaller one, comes right in about half an ounce, just like about all of these baits, so you definitely have something in your arsenal to already throw it on. Unique to this is the cup face. I really like that. It's huge, and it spits a ton of water. River to Sea did a really great job on this. The color is amazing, the detail is amazing for the price of this frog. It's right around $9–10. And then the hooks come slightly turned up. I didn't turn this one up at all, but I don't know if you can see that or not, but they're kind of tipped in, and they're definitely over top of the belly or the back of the frog. So this is one of my favorite colors. Just imitates a lot of different things, and I think you need to consider throwing that. Next, my personal favorite. This is actually a bigger frog. It comes in about 2/3 of an ounce, 3/4. It's unique because It's probably the best walking frog, in my opinion, on the market. This Jackal Cavacho, it's killer. I've probably got more of this frog than anything else in here. Got a couple of them the rest of them at the house, but this thing's my favorite. So show you two of them. This is the black gill and then the white. I haven't thrown this one much, but I know it's going to produce. One thing I wanted to talk about is the hook. It's a little bit different than your traditional wide gap. It's actually a round bend hook, and you can see how it's pointed up. This thing is a killer. I really like it. Like I said, easiest walking frog on the market, and I don't know. I've been hearing about this frog a lot, but not as much as I think. So keep it a secret if the guys around you aren't throwing it, but if they are, you better get on it if you're not. Again, walks the best. It's got a nice cup face, spits a little bit of water. I can't say enough about it. So again, Jackal Cavacho, check it out now. All right, next, the Jackal Kyera. If the fish are swiping at it, or if you just got the lighter gear, this is the frog to get, no doubt. There's no arguments in my mind. The Kyera is one of the best small frogs on the market. There's only a handful of small ones, but this one takes the cake. It's probably got a ton of different colors in it. I'll show you guys a few. The black probably produces for us the most. This glitter hasu is amazing as well. And then I think I have I got this bluegill one right here. This one's a pretty good one as well. I really like the orange on the bottom. This early spring, like right now, throw this bait. And let me know what you're doing. If you guys aren't smashing them on this, then don't be frogging. Throw something else. So, just jumping back into it. This one comes really nice. I really like the legs on this, very soft. The hooks, I do tip up on these just a bit. But that's about it. Other than the fact of the hooks, it is one of your harder frogs. It's just not got a lot of give, if you can see that. But I haven't had any trouble hooking up with this. If they swipe at the back, you have a lot less of a chance to get the hook. But if they engulf it, which most of the times that they do because it's so small, I mean, you're going to pounce on them with these hooks. And again, you don't need a pool cue to throw this. I really am a believer in the smaller frog, early spring. I think a lot of guys wait too long to jump on the frog, and I think they're missing out. But again, that's my experience, so you guys let me know if that's what you're thinking. If not, let me know. So what next can I talk about? Oh, just a few different colors, guys. I keep it very simple. I got my blacks. I got my white in sort of a belly. That's less of a good example. I got my whites. And then I got my chartreuse. This is kind of a crossover. Got chartreuse. Now, I didn't talk about this frog yet, but it's a killer too. Do you know what this is? This is another river to sea. Look how long those frog legs come before they trim. Good God. Did you even need to put that much on there? Anyway, this Bullywatu is a killer. I really like this one. It's not the most beautiful frog. It's kind of ugly, in my opinion. But this little Allen color is honestly the only one we have from them, and that's not just because of tactical bass. And I just felt like I was missing this color of a frog. I just really wanted that brown into some sort of chartreuse. It kind of doubles as a good clear water, dirty water, all sorts of throw me frog loving goodness. I don't know, just stood out to me. And these eyes freaking creep me out. But does a good job of not taking water. You can see that guard right there really helps keep the water from absorbing into these frogs. And it's a killer. I think this is about $10. It might be a little more, might be the most expensive frog, but it does the job. Now, we also have the big one, you can see this is the 65 and I think this is the 55. Look at the size difference in these frogs. Just a massive difference. I throw this one a lot, but not nearly as much as this, and I think I'm gonna get some hate for that because that big one is a killer. But over here in Michigan, we don't have 9-pound, 6-7-pound bass, just regular day after day. So sometimes that smaller presentation just works. I'd like to upsize just like any of you guys, but the smaller presentation really gets the job done for me. Just to reiterate, keep it simple, and don't kill yourself trying to find the best frog if you're just jumping into this. Pick up a simple one. I recommend this Booyah, one of your first ones, and the Kyera is one of your first ones if you haven't jumped into these already. They're killer frogs. They're soft. They do their thing. And I mean, they don't hold water very much. I mean, the Booyah probably takes on the most water in my experience, but it's not bad. I mean, you reel it in and squeeze it out. Some of these guys just get so crazy about talking about how the frog's junk, I'm never gonna buy it again because it takes on some water. I mean, how many times did you throw it before it started to sink? If you got a half a dozen, close to a dozen casts before you couldn't walk it anymore, I think it's a decent frog. I mean, it's weedless, it's a top water, I mean, come on, it is what it is there. So colors, guys, again, chartreuse, blacks, and then some sort of white. That's a pretty predominant color for us. Now the gear we're throwing here is a little bit different than most. This is a 7.2 medium heavy Zodius with a Chronarch MGL. If I was doing anything else but frogging this laydown wood, these shallow coves back here, I'd be throwing this on a heavy action. But this medium heavy gets it done. I can't say enough about this Zodius. It's comes in right around 200 bucks, and I think it fishes a lot more than 200, probably 250, 270 range. If you can swing it, swing up to the X Pride. That one is a dope rod as well. But you can't go wrong with the Zodius. It's a killer rod, and the Chronarch is just a no-brainer. This is probably the most value, the most bang for the buck, the most, oh my god, I want to kiss it reel I've ever had. I've got a little bit more expensive. I don't try to go crazy with my top water equipment because you don't need it. But that Zodius is amazing. So if you guys need to think about that, do it. I mean, if you probably already have a medium heavy somewhere. I mean, if you're throwing spinnerbaits, you're throwing chatterbaits, you have it. If you have a medium heavy that's more like a heavy, or a heavy that's more like a medium heavy, do it. If you have a heavy that's more of a moderate fast, do it. You don't need the big equipment for this, and with a medium heavy you're going to throw these pretty easily because they're only half an ounce, except for the Gavacho, which is a little bit heavier. So just to wrap it up, guys, if you like the video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. I really enjoy the frogs. I hope you guys do too. I hope you guys like the stuff that I'm cooking with. I'm gonna take this jacket off and go toss these frogs around a little bit because the wind died down and I want to do more now. So I'll catch you guys in the next one. Till then, stay froggy.